Truth. Keep that rolling. Oh, yeah. Yeah, this is Empire Talks Back. I'm Wallace Allen. And we are here on the case for truth and justice with the right information to help improve the situation. Empire Talks Back. We're talking back to the world because the world does not necessarily appreciate areas that are outside of great metropolises like Los Angeles. But we are the outer edge. If we are the outer edge, that doesn't mean we're the end. It means we are the end and the beginning. You have to come through us to get to L.A. You certainly have to come through us to get away. We've got a message for you, folks. The message is that the world is in good shape because we're sucking oxygen so far. The world has not rejected us. The planet has not yet rejected us. We still have time. We still have time. There's something we can do. There is something we can do. Empire Talks Back is brought to you by the Improve Association and West Side Story newspaper. Improve Association is designed to bring the community and business world together. We're here to improve the situation, and hopefully the right information will move us in that direction. You've got an intellect. You've got a purpose for being. This 9/11 date is very, very symbolic to us. 9/11, 911. That's the emergency phone call. 9/11. That's the date that we call the big emergency. It's the date that terrorism came to America for all of America. Oh, there were parts of America that were being terrorized for years, 400 years for those who are people of color. 400 years of terror that many people didn't understand, couldn't understand, because they were the recipients of the benefit of the power that goes along with enslaving another group, especially if that group is so identifiable based on the color of their skin. Think about terror. Think about what it was like to be a person of color in a world, a part of the world where anyone who was white could do whatever they wanted to. Very terrorizing. But people learned to function under that terror. 9/11, very terrorizing. Airplanes into the buildings that we occupy. That terrorism, 2001, changed so much of the world immediately. We went from trusting each other, or appearing to, or pretending to outright distrust, and not even being shy about the fact that we were distrusting people of color from anywhere, everywhere. If they looked like they were, well, if you had any kind of turban on, if you wore any kind of scarf, we turned cruel. We drank the Kool-Aid in response. I say we, I mean we, America and the country as a country, and what we do influences what everyone else does. Airplane, nothing plain about getting on an airplane anymore. We've gotten used to it. We deal with it. We look at each other, we sit next to each other on the plane, we don't necessarily talk, and if we do, it's more inquisitive and investigative than friendly and cordial. We don't have to drink the cruel aid. It's been offered all the time. Certainly as we go back and look at the concept of enslavement, everybody who was access to the power of being non-melanin based, if you weren't a person of color, you were white, you had the power to do what you wanted to. But everybody white didn't acquiesce to the power urge, control, and push everybody around. That was not white. There's always been people who refuse to drink the Kool-Aid. And there's always people who can't resist the temptation. Well, I'm saying don't drink the Kool-Aid. There's great possibilities. And it comes from deciding to be good, from deciding to reach out, from deciding to accept the fact that I could turn left or turn right. I can be disappointed and disappointing, or I could be inspired and inspiring. Oh man, let's be inspired. Let's look at the bright side. Let's look at the great things that we can do. I have a young man coming up on the next episode, the next break after the break. Young, 22 years old. And he's excited about many things. He's excited about working with young people, for giving him a millionaire mind concept. He's flying airplanes. Next week he's flying, and maybe your son, niece, nephew will go up in the air with him and be inspired to. We'll get a chance to talk to Dante right after this short break. This is Empire Talks Back. I'm Wallace Allen. We are here to make the world a better place. See you in a minute.
Ever been held down before? I know you refuse to be held down anymore. Don't you let nothing.
Publish your legal notice in West Side Story newspaper. For the best service and the best rates, call 909-384-8131. Publishing legal notices in the city and county of San Bernardino since 1990. West Side Story provides friendly expert service. Call 909-384-8131 to benefit from budget-friendly rates. Whether a fictitious business name, a name change, a divorce summons, or any other legal or public notice, call West Side Story newspaper 909-384-8131. 909-384-8131. That's 909-384-8131.
Hey, kiddo, ready to catch that movie?
Almost. Wallet, phone, keys, mask. Yep, all set.
A mask? It's not required, is it?
No, but it's gonna be busy and crowded, so I'll feel better with it on.
You right. It is open at night. Let me grab mine.
Nice! You passed the vibe check, Dad!
Wearing a mask when it can help protect you and others is just one way to keep each other safer. Brought to you by the California Department of Public Health.
Hot, dry weather and a drought are impacting our water supply, but if we work together now, we can make our water last, for us and for future generations. To learn more, visit SaveOurWater.com. Let's make it last, California. Here's tip number 1. To help save our water, wash cars with a bucket, sponge, and a hose that has a self-closing nozzle. You'd be surprised to know how much you can help save. To learn more, visit SaveOurWater.com. Let's make it last, California. All right. Yeah, we're back. This is Empire Talks Back. I am Wallace Allen. Empire Talks Back is brought to you by Nova Tech. You want to get into cryptocurrency, you want to get into investing, you want to let someone help you figure out how to make some money, or let your money be working while you're sleeping, laying around. Novatech has an investment program that for me, I've been getting 3%, approximately 3% back ever since I joined the organization in March of this year. I have friends who have put their money in, and 7 months, it kind of doubles. Kind of doubles. I say kind of because it usually takes a little less than that, or sometimes it might take a little more. But you give me a call, 909-915-7922, and I'll talk to you about Novatech. I'll send you a link. You could go there yourself, novatech.com, and take a look around. Look at the opportunity that it represents for you. Got questions, and you surely will. You can ask them, or you can call me, 909-915-7922, and we can pass on a little information, get you a little inspired, a little more knowledgeable than you are right now, and maybe you will be able to turn around in a couple weeks and say to your friends, Hey, I'm earning 3% interest compounded every week, making a little change. So you put $100 in, that means you made $3 every week. You put $1 million in at your bank, and you might make $3 in that year. So it's worth looking into, guys. Hey, don't drink the Kool-Aid. Don't figure that it's easier for you to retreat, to sink back into your little hole and hide from the rest of the world. That's not going to protect you. We've got to turn the world into a safer place, a more exciting place, a place where people are getting their dreams fed and nourished and helping the rest of us, because when those dreams come true, they usually work for more than just the dreamer. They usually work for the people that are around. That's how we get all of the good things we get. Somebody dreamed about them, moved forward, and made them happen. We have a young man on the phone, Mr. Dante Kendricks. He's 22 years old. He's involved with an organization, Millionaire Minds. Young kids with millionaire minds. That may not be the right title, but it certainly is the right attitude that they're operating with. And he's with a group called Young Eagles. Young Eagles. Yeah, eagles fly, and so does he. He's a pilot, guy, young, 22 years old, flying airplanes. More importantly, he's 22 years old and teaching others and inspiring others to fly and to become pilots and get involved in the air industry. Dante, how are you this morning?
I'm doing great, Mr. Wallace. How are you doing?
God is great, and I'm extremely grateful. And yes, I think you are doing great. I think you are part of the promise for the future. Where are you right now?
Right now, I'm in Victorville, California.
Okay, and what building are you in?
I'm in our headquarters down here at Millionaire Mind Kids.
Millionaire Mind Kids. Okay, what is Millionaire Mind Kids, Dante?
So Millionaire Mind Kids is a nonprofit organization. We offer multiple programs for the kids. So we have our aviation program, which I'm the director and one of the pilots in the program. We have a financial literacy program, law and justice program. What else? We have so many programs that steadily just growing. We have a robotics program, and we just keep adding to the list. So Millionaire Mind Kids is basically, like you said, it's a mindset first, because without the mindset, you can't really achieve too much in this world without the mindset. So we teach the kids to change their whole perspective of the world all around and just how they think on an everyday basis. And then from there on, we introduce all these programs to them. They have different choices to pick from all the programs that we offer. And then we try and teach them whatever they want to learn, and we try and guide them on that path so they can be successful in life.
When you say teach them whatever they want to learn, that kind of indicates that maybe they have some kind of passion, and you help them emphasize that part of it to...
Exactly, yes. Mm-hmm. So we like to offer them, different opportunities. So we don't want to just offer them just aviation or just law and justice, because not everyone likes just what you like. So we want to offer them as much as possible.
Say that again. Not everyone what?
Not everyone likes what you like.
Isn't that's good and bad, isn't it?
Yes.
But the good part is, if you like a chicken neck, and there's only one chicken neck, you kind of like the fact that everybody doesn't like what you like.
Right.
Right. But many times we get more upset about the fact that people don't like what we like, and we want to argue with them and convince them that they're wrong because they don't like what we like. But it appears that when we like different things, we're able to use those different things and create some diversity for each other and some excitement for life. How do you excite? Well, first of all, how long have you been involved with Millionaire Kids?
I've been involved with Millionaire Mind Kids since about 2017, 2018-ish.
2018, so about 4 years.
Yes.
Okay. And what is the first thing that you, as an organization, do to, I guess, move the kids in the directions of being millionaire-minded? How do you catch that first wave and put them on it?
Well, first we teach them our core values. So we go through all of our core values list, and in one of our programs that we have up and running right now, implemented into one of the elementary schools and the middle schools up here. We work with the Hesperia Union school district.
Okay.
And what we teach the kids in the elementary and the school districts is we teach them all our core values, like I said, and then we do a chant every single day. So we start off with the kids walking through the door of greatness. So each kid, we tell them 2 good adjectives about themselves, and then we tell them to walk through the door of greatness. And then when we get into the actual classroom, we tell the kids to say 2 good things about themselves. So they'll say, "Hi, my name is Dante. I'm an engineer, and I am very intelligent and smart." And we go around the classroom, and we start this at a very young age for the kids because we want them to know not only do you matter and you're important, but we want them to know that you actually are important, and you can do anything that you put your mind to. You can achieve anything. You are greatness.
So you take them through Empire Talks Back every day?
Yes, every single day before they enter the classroom. Yep.
Because that's what we're all about. Because I do believe that if you whisper greatness into their ear, it will eventually come out of their mouth and be demonstrated in their actions. And I think many parents and grown-ups don't realize the power of suggestion, especially when they're speaking to younger people. I know that there were things said to me as a child that made me feel obligated to be that way. One of them was carrying my father's name. I'm Wallace James Allen IV. Man, that was heavyweight because everybody respected my dad and talked about how good he was and expected me to be the same. And quite frankly, I didn't even want to carry his name until I got to be a teenager. I mean, toward my senior year of high school when I was starting to kind of feel myself. But so that obligation is what you kind of put in the minds of the kids in terms of you're great and you have great potential, and all of us are expecting you to get to that. Is that pretty much right?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Am I rushing up on your time? How long can you stick around with us? I need you to stick around.
Yeah, I got plenty of time. No rush.
Oh, that's what I'm wanting to hear, that you got plenty of time. When we come back, I want to get a chance to explore more about the millionaire-minded kids, but I want to talk a little bit about the future that you're so excited about and this program you're having next week in terms of teaching kids to fly. And so you guys better stick around because there's a great shot that you can get your niece, nephew, maybe you're young enough to qualify, but we're going to give some free flights away up in the Victorville High Desert area next week via the Young Eagles program that Dante Kendricks is involved with. We'll be right back.
Gonna put ourselves together, gonna polish up our head.
Publish your legal notice in West Side Story newspaper. For the best service and the best rates, call 909-384-8131. Publishing legal notices in the city and county of San Bernardino since 1990. West Side Story provides friendly expert service. Call 909-384-8131 to benefit from budget-friendly rates. Whether a fictitious business name, a name change, a divorce summons, or any other legal or public notice, call West Side Story newspaper 909-384-8131. 909-384-8131. That's 909-384-8131.
COVID-19 vaccines help keep our families safer from the risks of COVID-19. Now, children 6 months and older are eligible to receive that same reassuring protection. As a parent, you might have questions or want to find out more about COVID-19 vaccines for kids. And that's okay. Talk with your doctor today or visit vaccinateall58.com to learn more so you can feel good about the facts. Brought to you by the California Department of Public Health.
Hot, dry weather and a drought are impacting our water supply, but if we work together now, we can make our water last for us and for future generations. To learn more, visit SaveOurWater.com. Let's make it last, California. Here's tip number 2 to help save our water. Check your toilet and faucets for leaks on a regular basis. You'd be surprised to know how much water a tiny leak can waste. To learn more, visit SaveOurWater.com. Let's make it last, California.
Wishing for a little more information?
Alrighty then.
You'll get it here at KCAA.
Alrighty then.
right, we're back. This is Empire Talks Back. I'm Wallace Allen. Give you guys a quick second. I know you heard that spot about the dripping water. You hear that little drip in the bathroom? I know you hear it. I hear it. Okay, get up. Go in there. Turn that water down. There you go. Save the water. Listen, nothing like water on a hot day. Nothing like it. And you don't want to miss the opportunity to have some. So the best way to have some and assure that we're going to have some is to treat it right. Save it. Dante, on your millionaire-minded children, part of what we need to do is be sure that they don't waste water. So I don't know what kind of program you may have on that part of it, but that's an important part. Don't waste the water. We need the water so much. Dante, you have a program next week. Next weekend, you're going to be flying young people. Am I correct?
Yes, it's going to be this upcoming Saturday, the September 17th.
September 17th. Tell us about the program. Tell us why you're doing it. Tell us about the Young Eagles and how you got involved in that.
Okay, so Young Eagles is a nonprofit organization as well, and pretty much what they do is they give wings to dreams to kids. So we pretty much introduce flight to the kids. So we do a 30-minute introductory flight, and the kids basically get to sit in the airplane in the front or in the back. It's a 4-seater aircraft. Sometimes they're 2-seater aircraft. There are different type of aircraft that come through. And what the pilots do is they all volunteer their time in their aircraft for the kids. So we take the kids up flying, like I said, for 30 minutes, and we let them get to touch the controls, so they get to fly using the controls.
Wait a minute. You mean they actually get to? They'll be able to come down, land, and go home and say, "I flew the plane."
Yes.
Shut up. No, man, that's deep. I flew the plane. 9 years old. What's the age limit? Who can qualify to be one of the young people to fly as a guest in your planes this coming Saturday?
So we usually like to start the kids off around like the 7-8-year-old mark. Sometimes we'll accept 6-year-olds, but we like to start around the 7-8-year-old mark.
That's pretty cool. That's good.
Yep. And we go all the way up to around 19, 20 years old.
How many young people, how many people are you going to be able to accommodate this Saturday? Approximately.
Approximately, we usually fly about 50 to 60 kids.
Do you have room for more, or are you all packed in, or what?
It's up to the registration list. So if there's enough room and time slots, the kids can come up. But honestly, majority of the time, usually when there's more kids, we just fly the kids. We don't complain about it because we would hate to miss the opportunity for a kid to get the chance to be able to take his first flight.
Oh, that's amazing. Before we do much talking, then let me get you to tell people how they can register for this opportunity to get your young person, your child, your niece, your nephew, that kid across the street that's got great potential. How do they register? What do they need to do?
So you're going to type in youngeaglesday.org. So youngeaglesday.org.
Young Eagles Day. So the day for Young Eagles. Young Eagles Day. EAGLESDAY?
Yes.
.com?
.org.
.org. Okay, youngeaglesday.org. Okay, so we open up that page and what happens?
And then once you get onto the Google search, once it loads, you're going to hit the click registration button.
Okay.
And then after that, you'll go to the zip code and you'll type in 92394 for the Apple Valley Airport, because that's where we'll be at.
92394. That's the number that opens up your ability to register?
Yes, that's the zip code for the Apple Valley Airport area in the high desert. And then you're going to hit the register for the wait list, and you're going to tap the Apple Valley Airport one. Okay. And the EAA chapter number is going to be 768, and it'll say Young Eagles, Apple Valley, California.
Okay, so as great as this is, and as easy as we want it to be, there is a process and procedure. You've got to know the zip code of the site where we're doing this, which is in Apple Valley, and that zip code is 92394. And once you do that, then there is another code that describes the actual class, right? Opportunity.
Yes.
And that number is?
It's the EAA chapter 768, and it'll be right all there on the same page. It'll be right there. It'll say Apple Valley Airport. It'll say Young Eagles, Apple Valley, California, and the EAA number is chapter 768. And just below that, it'll say register for waitlist. And you can just go ahead and tap the register for waitlist, and it'll ask you to fill out some information about the parents' information and the child's information, and hopefully we have enough time slots. But like I said, even if we don't have enough time slots, we encourage everyone to come on through so we can go ahead and introduce aviation to you lovers.
Right. So how many of these flight opportunities do you guys do per year, or what's the schedule for something like that?
So usually we do the flights around every quarter of the year. So we are getting it to be a little bit more frequent. Sometimes we're doing it every other month too.
Amazing.
So if you are looking to just see when's the next opportunity, all you have to do is just come on this website and just do the exact same thing that I told you. Just follow the instructions, and you can see every time when's the next upcoming event, and you can go ahead and just click and register.
Well, by virtue of the fact that you have to give a zip code, it infers that there are more than one sites that you're having these, and the schedule really isn't just limited to Victorville or the High Desert. Is that true?
Yes, exactly. You can just go ahead and just follow the same thing no matter where you're living. You can live in the LA area, you can live in the Inland Empire. Just go ahead and just follow the instructions, and the nearest airport near you will pop up on the website, and it'll show you when's the next Young Eagles event.
My goodness. And how long have the Young Eagles been doing what you're talking about?
They've been around longer than I have, I can tell you that.
Well, you're 22 years old, right?
Yes.
So this organization is over 22 years has been teaching and encouraging young people to fly.
Yes.
Man, and I thought I knew something. And I have no doubt that of all of the great intelligent listeners out there, that the bulk of us were not aware of this type of program. And certainly not knowing that we can get our kids involved in aviation this easily means that, we're missing some opportunity. This sounds really good. That sounds really good.
Yeah.
Let's give people an idea of how much it costs to fly for an hour in a plane that's, a four-seater. We have to understand that planes get, checked every time they come down, go up? How often does an airplane mechanically get checked for its safety?
So before we go flying, every pilot does what's called a pre-flight. So pretty much you'll grab all the paperwork for the airplane before you head out to the airplane. You'll grab the keys, and you'll head out to the airplane, and you'll do a walk-around inspection of the aircraft just to make sure that there's not any dents or any miscellaneous things wrong with it. And then you'll head into the inside, and you'll check all the instruments. You'll check how much fuel you have on the fuel indicators. Then you'll visually check the fuel, too, because sometimes the fuel indicators can fail. So you want to make sure you visually check and make sure that the confirmation is, if you saw half a tank, you want to be able to visually see half a tank. So there is quite a process when making sure that the aircraft is within standards. It's not like just hopping in your car and just starting the car and just taking and just going. There's a couple steps you got to do before you get going on the road.
Very good. And once again, when that plane comes and lands, what's done inspection-wise before that plane is turned over to someone else to utilize?
So it's pretty much you just come on in, and after you're done landing, you just park the plane back in the spot. You just clean the plane on up, make sure it's nice for the next person, and it's going to be the same process all over again. That the next pilot will do the exact same thing all over again. They'll do the pre-flight inspection just to make sure that the previous flight and the previous pilots, nothing went wrong with that.
Well, who's the one that puts the fuel in the plane after you get through using it and land the plane?
So there's two different ways you can do it. You can have a fuel truck come and fill you up. So someone working for the airport or the FBO will come fill it for you. Or in most cases, you're the pilot, so you fill your own airplane.
Okay, now, who is mechanically astute enough to determine the condition of the plane's engine and all that stuff? Or do you?
What are you saying?
Well, I'm saying that when the plane lands, how do we check the condition of the engine and know all of those aspects of it? Is there a mechanic around? How do we do that?
Yeah, so it's a list that we go through. So it's called Aviate. So the A stands for annual. So annual has to be done every single year on the aircraft. And then the V is the VOR. So the VORs is one of the equipment. It's one of the instruments that we use in the airplane. It has to be done every 30 days. And then the I, we use that for every 100 hours. So if the aircraft is for rent, then you have to do a 100-hour inspection on the aircraft. So pretty much most flight schools, which you're going to be, you're going to be going to a flight school to get training to get your pilot license, you have to do 100 hours. But if you're just a regular owner, then you're going to basically go ahead and just do an annual every single year.
Okay.
So that's how the maintenance inspection goes.
Very good. Okay, that's important. We want to know about all that stuff. Okay.
And then the Aviate acronym I was using, aviation is all about acronyms because there's just so much information that you have to, not everyone can remember everything off the top of their head. So if you put an acronym to it, it'll go ahead and help you remember what you were trying to think of.
Right. So every time we go out there and buy that airplane ticket and fly from here to there and we don't care about anything, someone else is caring and covering the safety aspects of what we're doing. This is Empire Talks Back. I'm talking with Dante Kendricks. And he is with an organization, Millionaire Mind Kids and Young Eagles. And he's got me excited, almost excited enough to want to go learn how to fly a plane, but I know that they're not interested in teaching people my age how to fly. They're very interested in, however, me having enough money to go buy a ticket. We'll be right back after this short break. Get your kids ready. We're going to teach them how to fly next week.
But we won't let nothing hold us back.
Publish your legal notice in West Side Story newspaper. For the best service and the best rates, call 909-384-8131. Publishing legal notices in the city and county of San Bernardino since 1990. West Side Story provides friendly expert service. Call 909-384-8131 to benefit from budget-friendly rates. Whether a fictitious business name, a name change, a divorce summons, or any other legal or public notice, call West Side Story newspaper 909-384-8131. 909-384-8131. That's 909-384-8131.
Californians have worked really hard to beat COVID-19 by doing the things we know work best, like getting vaccinated and boosted, testing before and after travel, staying home when feeling sick, and wearing a mask when it can protect us and others. Let's continue to do our part to keep each other safer from COVID-19. When we work together, there's nothing we can't overcome. Learn more at covid19.ca.gov. Brought to you by the California Department of Public Health.
Hot, dry weather and a drought are impacting our water supply, but if we work together now, we can make our water last for us and for future generations. To learn more, visit SaveOurWater.com. Let's make it last, California. Here's tip number 1. To help save our water, wash cars with a bucket, sponge, and a hose that has a self-closing nozzle. You'd be surprised to know how much you can help save. To learn more, visit SaveOurWater.com. Let's make it last, California. All right, we're back. This is Empire Talks Back. I want to thank all of my Facebook friends and Regina Wilson. It's always good to hear and see from you, or to hear from you. Can't see you. But at the same time, I know you're there, and I know that there are other folks there who are excited about the possibilities of getting their young folk up in the air in an airplane inspired for the future. Now, right now, this moment, airplanes are missing pilots. Commercial airlines are looking for pilots. Commercial airlines are creating their own aviate schools so that they can put people directly in the pipeline to become pilots and all of the other support employees that are required in order to make an airline work. Mr. Dante Kendricks, 22 years old. How long have you been flying, Dante?
I've been flying coming up, actually it's 8 years now.
8 years?
Yeah, September 4th made the 8-year mark.
So before you were able to even consider getting a license to drive a car, you're flying airplanes?
Yes.
Ooh, man, that's good. Who got you interested? Wait a minute. Let me say this. Did you bug your parents about buying you an airplane instead of buying your car? Is this?
I had big dreams of it one day.
Okay. But like you mentioned, right, renting airplanes is generally the way most people go. Is that true?
Pretty much, yeah. So
okay.
There's a lot you can do with the airplane. I'll tell you my story quick real first. So I started off when I was 3 years old. I always looked up at airplanes. Like, no matter where I was at, I would stop everything I was doing. I would look up at airplanes.
Okay.
So fast forward, I had moved to Hawthorne at the age of 13. So Hawthorne is right next to LAX, a couple miles away. So
yeah, so
moved to Hawthorne.
You had pretty strong neck muscles by this time from
Right. Yeah. So I moved to Hawthorne, California, and I literally was right next to the Hawthorne airport. I was about 30 seconds away. I literally walked there. So one day I went up to the airport, and I went to Beach Cities Aviation. It's a flight school located at the airport. And I talked to the receptionist, and I told her, I was like, hey, I'm not too familiar with, airplanes or anything like that, but I love to look at them and watch them. So she took me to the flight line, and I got to see all the aircraft on the flight line. She let me open the doors and sit inside the cockpit, touch the flight controls, turn the airplane on. And, from that day on, I just fell in love with it. So
let's go back through this. How old were you?
I was 13.
And you walked into the doors of a flight school?
Yes.
To ask them the question?
Yes.
Okay, let's back up. Who's your mom and dad? Who gave you the nerve, the unmitigated nerve, to walk your young behind into a flight school and ask about flying? Where'd you get that kind of nerve, energy, audacity?
Yeah, man. I asked my mom one day. I kept bugging her after we had just moved there. Kept bugging her. I was like, Mom, I really want to go into the flight school. Like, I really want to go see the planes, And she just kept putting it off. And then one day I was like, come on, Mom, we're passing by. We don't have anything to do. Let's just go. So she finally took me up there. And then from that day on, man, my life changed.
Okay, let's back it up some more. You said you were bugging your mom. How many mothers and fathers are out there, aunts and uncles, who have been bugged by their children and didn't learn how to stop the bugging? Encourage the bugging. Keep on bugging me. You felt safe bugging her, right? She didn't threaten to throw you out of the car or any of that stuff. So you had enough confidence that if I bug her long enough, she's going to give in.
Right.
That's pretty good parenting. I mean, when you think about it, she didn't shut off, your desire to request, to follow your curiosity, kind of controlled it a little bit to be sure that you were sure.
Mm-hmm.
And at the point where you finally bugged her close to that last nerve, she said, okay, parents, be encouraged. I'm just saying it. Be encouraged because I'm able to witness young people doing some parenting around me, and they're doing well, and it's because they're respecting the fact that this child is inspired with curiosity and newness and an opportunity to do better than the parent because they have everything the parent has because the parent is willing to give that knowledge to them and to accept the testing. It's a test. Mom, I want it. Mom, I want it. Dad, I want it. Dad, can I have that big elephant over there? Right? So congratulations to your mom and dad and their mom and dad and the community that helped raise a curious young man, encourage him to be curious enough to walk into a strange place. Did your mom walk in with you?
She did, yeah.
Okay. So she didn't, we didn't take any chance on there being an R. Kelly up in there. She followed you and from a distance let you work. Parents, that's a good example. And here we have a young man now, 22 years old, who next Saturday will be getting in an airplane that he will inspect, know how to inspect, first of all, consider it safe enough for himself to get in and to bring a younger person to get excited about flying, to get excited about a new world that is demanding people who know how to do that in order for us to even be successful as a growing population on the planet. You have to have this same pilot's license that you're going to use to fly the actual plane and sit your behind in it and go up in the air. You have to have that same pilot's license to fly drones, right?
So it's actually two different licenses. The pilot's license is a Part 61, what we call it, and the drone is it's under Part 107.
Okay.
So they're a little bit different, but they both are a six-figure career.
Okay, one you're up in the airplane and one you're down on the ground, but you're flying something, causing something to go through the air, and you're making at least six figures. Okay, very good. We're gonna be excited about that for at least 2 minutes here. We'll be right back as we take this break to count our money and the future of our children and our ability to be part of that future. We can call our kids, aunts, nieces, and nephews now and get them excited about next week's flights, Young Eagles Day. And if we miss that one, they've got other days coming up. Oh man, we're in good shape. America, we ain't doing bad. Not unless we just want to, and then you got to work hard to do that part. So work hard, let's do some good. Go through your phone book. When I come back, let's have everybody out there have at least 3 or 4 kids that they can think about getting involved in a Young Eagles Day. We'll be right back.
Every word I say, every word I say.
Publish your legal notice in West Side Story newspaper. For the best service and the best rates, call 909-384-8131. Publishing legal notices in the city and county of San Bernardino since 1990. West Side Story provides friendly expert service. Call 909-384-8131 to benefit from budget-friendly rates. Whether a fictitious business name, a name change, a divorce summons, or any other legal or public notice, call West Side Story newspaper 909-384-8131. 909-384-8131. That's 909-384-8131.
All right, we're back. Cousin Faye, good to see you, darling. Really, call your Auntie Ruth. She'd love to hear from you. Absolutely. Okay, I know you've got some young folk. We want to get this flight school situation moving. There's a lot of good jobs. People are talking about jobs, they're talking about careers, but the aviation field has many great jobs, and they're not all in the air. Some are definitely on the ground. That ground crew is critical. How many times have you been on the airplane and the flight's been held up a little bit because the ground crew, there wasn't enough. So there's a lot of jobs in aviation. You want to be able to talk about some of that, Dante? Some of the non-flying, non-pilot jobs that are involved in the world of aviation?
Yeah, so you have air traffic controllers. So you can work. The air traffic controllers are pretty much the guys who we're talking to. So They start us all the way from getting us from backing off from the gate to all the way to taxiing to the runway and getting up and taking off the runway. So they make six figures. They make pretty good six figures too. You can make like $250,000-$300,000 just being an air traffic controller.
Hey, those guys with all the things they're responsible for, they could give them $1 million as far as I'm concerned. Because this is important stuff there. Yeah, yes, it is. So, so with all of that in mind, and going back to your basic organization with the kids, the millionaire-minded children, millionaire-minded kids. Is that right?
Yes, millionaire-minded kids.
Okay, how you're working through the school district with that, and I would imagine that working through the school district with that would kind of stack a lot of young people up to want to become part of the Young Eagle program. And saying that again to say, wow, you guys got that going well in Victorville. What about down here in the more central area of the Inland Empire? Could we get something going like that here in San Bernardino at this big international airport we've got?
Yeah, so we actually have a program down there at Ontario Airport. It's called the Shades of Blue, and we're working down there with Bruce Atlas, the airport manager.
And I'm twisting Bruce's arm every chance I get to get him to move a little further east here. So we're focusing on the right guy, I guess.
Yep. So we have a program down there at Ontario Airport, like I said. I'm not exactly sure when we're going to be doing our next event, but we do have a program where we do ground school with kids. So we'll teach them, the very much basics of how an airplane operates, the different instruments, the different parts. And we take them pretty much as we take them through a serious course as if they were going to get their pilot license. So they'll get the training that they will pretty much be doing as if they were actually going to get their pilot license. And we actually do fly the kids. It's not just a ground session. So, the serious kids that we see full potential in, and we see them taking it really serious, they're coming to all these different events, giving their time on the weekends, helping volunteer. We actually do give them a couple of free flights, because flight training is pretty expensive. I'm not going to even lie to you.
No, that was the question that we were going to get back to, and that was the expense involved in flying. And especially as we look at their Young Eagles Day, we have pilots volunteering their time, their air power, and their wallet power, because what does it cost to keep a plane in the air, four-seater, for an hour?
This is what I like to tell people: an airplane flies based off of money.
Yeah,
that's what it really goes off of. Don't think about the aerodynamics or anything like that, because before you think about that, you got to think about the money aspect. Without no money,
fold up some dollar bills into little airplanes and fly them around your house there, so you see what we're talking about. So we're talking about the same gas that I have to put in my car. We've got fuel that has to go in the airplane, and I don't know how many gallons of fuel it takes to fly for an hour. Could you give me an idea?
So our airplane, there's different airplanes out there, obviously, just like there's different cars. But the airplane that I'm most familiar with flying with is called a Cessna 172, and it holds about 40 gallons to 50 gallons. So 100 low lead is the gas that we use. It's a little different from regular petrol, but it's called 100 low lead, and it's like a light blue baby color. And it's different at every location. But
how much does it cost? Come on, man. Tell me, how much does this gas cost?
It's not too fairly expensive. It's if you're in the LA area, they're going to charge a little more. It's probably about like anywhere from $6 to $7 a gallon. But if you come up here towards like the desert, it's probably about $5-6.
Okay.
Not too expensive, but you got to think it's a little different than a car. A car holds about 16 gallons. This airplane is holding about 40 to 50 gallons.
Well, that's extremely encouraging, because as we've talked, you and I have talked about the concept of, hey, let's explore the idea of some commercial charter flights from San Bernardino to Vegas. And, we say, well, it's not very expensive.
Right.
Very expensive.
It only gets more expensive the bigger aircraft you fly, the more fuel you're going to need. So if we're going into jet, oh, man, we're talking about thousands of dollars.
Well, wait a minute. Let's use the real numbers now. Let's not use our imagination. Okay, so we're talking about 40 gallons on a Cessna. So what are we talking about? 200 gallons on a larger plane? How much on that plane that fly from San Bernardino to Las Vegas?
Man, we're talking about at least about 1,000 gallons minimum on the jet.
1,000 gallons. Okay.
Yeah, an 8 to 10 seater passenger. You're talking about 1,000 gallons.
Okay. How about Okay, we're gonna have to figure this out. So all you people out there that are listening, paying attention here, you get on your calculators. Let's see if it's worth us going into some kind of flight school business. Yeah, I know one thing. It's going to be exciting whether we make any money or not. But I see too many airlines out here. Somebody's making money.
Right.
It makes sense to me. I mean, people are offering great flights. My wife just found some flights to Chicago from Ontario to Midway in Chicago for less than $70 round trip. How do they do that? We got to figure it out because we're missing money watching other people eat all the honey here. But we can get in on the ground floor. We can make our people, our kids, pilots, airplane mechanics, the whole deal. Sales, they got sales, all of those things work. And if you want to get your child involved, excited at the young level, you can give our friend Dante a call. Dante, how can you let people reach directly to you?
So you can reach me on my personal cell phone number and my email. I'll give you my phone number right now if everyone's ready to take it on down.
3, 2, 1, go.
All right, so it's 909.
Did we lose him? Did we lose Dante?
Hello?
Yeah, I heard the 909. Where's the rest of it?
Okay, I was like, I kept talking. I was like, hello?
Yeah, no, 909. Don't mute yourself.
So it's 909-504-7484. Again, 909-504-7484.
Okay, we don't want to confuse people. Let's go right there. Folks, if you want to get involved, give Dante a call. Dante, those flight costs and things of that sort, there's some of us who would like to be sure that you don't run out of gas. And some of those folks can give Dante a call too. So to be able to come up with, another $100, $50 to help these guys keep these kids in there, I think it's a wonderful thing to do. Dante Kendricks, you are a hero. You're just going to become a bigger hero as you get older, and we do appreciate all of that. And I pray that you are with a long life, because as you live, you are spreading the joy, and we do appreciate that. All of you listeners, we do appreciate that you decided to listen to us, and we hope that you will lead your young people toward flight school. Big money, big enjoyment, hot passion. Let's move in that direction. Let's not drink the cruel aid. Drink the cool aid, not the cruel aid. Be kind to each other. We have the power to do that, and there's more than enough for everybody, especially when we decide to share. See you next time under 2 circumstances. 1, if the good Lord's willing. 2, if the creek don't rise. And go turn off that drippy faucet. I told you to do that earlier. I keep hearing the drip. I don't know what's going on. You stop wasting water.
Ever